Night sounds different in abandoned places. It's not just quiet, it listens. Here we don't chase stories, we let them find us. The ones that rattle in attics, that linger in cold stone, that refuse to be forgotten. And tonight we follow the hum of something strange, something still very much alive, in a place long left for dead. This is the story of a church, but not one with hymns and hope. This one prays to silence. Welcome to Sounds of the Unknown. In the Czech countryside, if you travel far enough, past the farms, past the forests, you'll find Luková, a village so small, the road leading to it doesn't bother to announce it. No signs, no tourists, just Luková. And yet people come. They come because of what's still standing there, or what appears to be. At the center of the village, wrapped in ivy and memory, sits the church of St. George, and it is not empty, not anymore. Built in the 14th century, the Church of St. George once stood proud, pulsing with life. Baptisms, weddings, funerals, generations passed beneath its vaulted ceiling. Until one day, the ceiling decided it had had enough. It happened during a funeral in 1968. Mourners gathered, voices low, grief heavy in the air. And then, crack, a rumble. A section of the roof gave in. Right in the middle of the service. No one died, but something else did. Faith. The villagers took it as a sign, a warning, maybe even a curse. From that day forward, they stopped coming. They left the church to the wind. Time passed, and like anything left without purpose, the church began to rot. Wood warped, paint peeled, rain carved its own path down the stone walls, pigeons made their home in the rafters, vandals followed. Altars stolen, statues gone. The bell ripped from its tower. By the late 90s, it was just a shell, an echo chamber of prayers no one remembered how to say. Locals spoke of strange sounds at night, shapes in the windows, but mostly they stopped speaking of it at all, until the ghosts arrived. It wasn't a haunting that brought them, it was an artist. In 2012, a student named Jakub Hadrava came to Luková with plaster and vision. He wanted to save the church, but not by restoring it, by filling it. He created 9 figures, life-sized, hooded, seated, standing still, made of gauze, plaster and absence. They weren't statues, they were silhouettes, shadows that remembered what it was like to believe, each one based on a real person, each one frozen in silent devotion. He called them an installation, but the village called them something else, the ghosts of Luková. Something strange happened then. People began to come. They drove in from nearby towns, then further. Prague, Vienna, Berlin. They came to see the church where ghosts prayed. At first it was curiosity, then reverence, then donations. The money helped repair the roof, stabilize the walls, light the inside. The church lived again, not as it was, but as something new. A sanctuary for the forgotten, a monument to memory. And still, the ghost remained. Walk into the church now and you'll feel it. The stillness doesn't welcome you, it watches you. The figures aren't arranged neatly. Some sit at odd angles. One stares toward a crumbled window. Another leans slightly, like it's listening. They don't move, but you'll think they do. Visitors report whispers, a draft where there should be none, the smell of incense long since extinguished. Cameras malfunction, voices drop to a whisper without realizing. Some leave quickly, others stay longer than they planned. No one leaves untouched. The figures don't have names, no plaques, no explanations. But some say they represent the Sudeten Germans, displaced after World War II. Others believe they're not representations at all, but echoes, that the church remembers those who once sat there. And sometimes memory is enough to summon form. You'll hear stories. A visitor who counted 10 figures on the way in, but found 11 on the way out. A woman who swears one turned its head. A man who dreamt in Latin for a week after visiting, though he didn't know a word of it before. Of course, these are just stories, aren't they? In Luková, they don't talk much about the church, not even now. Ask an old farmer about it, and he'll shrug. They're just statues, he'll say, then glance at the sky. But watch him. Watch how he makes the sign of the cross when you're not looking. It's not fear exactly, it's respect. Whatever lives in that church, memory, art, ghost, or God, it has weight. It holds silence like a knife, and silence here has teeth. So what is it? A clever art project, a haunting, a tourist trap dressed in shrouds, or something else? We love to label things, to solve them, to say, ah yes, that's what it was. But some stories don't want to be solved. Some are meant to linger, like the figures in Luková, sitting quietly, waiting, not for answers, but for someone to notice. If you ever find yourself driving through Bohemia and the road suddenly dips into silence, no radio signal, no birds, just stillness, you may be near Luková. You'll see it, the steeple broken but proud, the stone steps half swallowed by weeds, and if you're brave or foolish, you'll go inside. You'll feel them before you see them. 9, always 9. Though some say that number changes. Welcome to Luková, where belief never dies. It just sits and waits. Thank you for watching this episode of Sounds of the Unknown. If you felt the chill, if you leaned in just a little too close, this is your place. We explore the abandoned, the unspoken, the nearly lost. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this story with someone who believes art can haunt. And tell us in the comments, what do you think watches from the pews? Until next time, keep wondering, keep wandering. And remember, not every ghost needs a heartbeat.